is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!
This is the Players Lounge, broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now your hosts, Barry Church, Danny McCray, and Newy Scruggs.
It is Friday, week number 2 of the National Football League season. Cowboys taking on the Falcons, both teams 0-1. I am wearing my victory green since the Dallas Stars will begin play in the Stanley Cup final tomorrow on NBC against Tampa Bay. So hopefully the Cowboys can get a little taste of winning from the Dallas Stars. But fellas, let's start off the show here with the fact I'm at DEFCON 5 right now with this offensive line. Tyron Smith did not practice yesterday. Tyron Smith has a neck injury that popped up during individual drills this week, according to Mike McCarthy. So, Danny McCray, Barry Church, former Dallas Cowboys safeties. I'm merely Newy Scruggs. Man, I'm worried. I'm at DEFCON 5 here. You could have 2 tackles not playing on Sunday against the Atlanta Falcons. Lel Collins is not going to be in the game. He's already on injured reserve. Whew. Talk me off the ledge, man. Talk me off the ledge. I'm worried.
Yeah, man. Oh, go ahead, D-Mac. Go ahead.
No, I can't talk you off this ledge. No, you might want to go ahead and jump. I just have like flashbacks and I keep seeing the vision of what happened last time Tyron was not in the game against Atlanta, and I can't get rid of it. And I don't think the coaching staff matters. It's a player thing, right? So no matter who you put out there, we already got somebody being focused on the right tackle who the defense is focusing on. Now you telling me that the defensive coordinator and actually the head coach, who's a defensive guy in Atlanta, gets to say, we have 2 subs in on both tackles on both sides. This must be Christmas. So I'm nervous, man. I'm nervous. I need him to play, but just like LV, those neck injuries and him in the bad back, that stuff is rolling together, and those are things that are very, very harmful to the careers of NFL players.
Yeah, man, I'm worried. I'm worried just as much as you guys. I mean, DEFCON 5. I mean, if Tyron Smith does not play in this game, I mean, this could be one of the most monumental injuries ever. I mean, look, Danny already pointed out, you got Brandon Steele at the right tackle spot, filling in for Lyle Collins. Now, he was an undrafted rookie free agent. He had his first NFL start last week versus the Rams. And, he didn't perform very well. But, I see as time goes on, he can only get better from there. But the only problem is I don't know if we have time to wait for him to develop into that right tackle spot. We go to the interiors part of the line. Zach Martin, I feel like he graded out low last week, but I don't see, 2 bad games coming from him back to back. He's just too good of a player. So that brings me to Joe Looney and Connor Williams, who both struggled mightily against Aaron Donald. Now, Aaron Donald, Defensive Player of the Year, most offensive linemen are going to struggle with him. But this week, I mean, they don't have a scrub over there in Grady Jarrett. I mean, this guy is a perennial pass rusher and can give them problems and force pressure on them. So they're going to have to step up their game on the inside. And that what brings me to Tyron Smith, the left tackle. This is one of the premier positions on the offensive line, usually reserved for your best offensive lineman. It's the blind side, the guy that's protecting the quarterback as he's going through his progressions. And we have already heard Dak Prescott this week talking about he wants to take more shots downfield. But I just don't understand how they're going to be able to do that if Tyron Smith's not in there. This is a guy that's protecting your blind spot. I don't see Dak Prescott being too comfortable going through his progressions and waiting for that deep route to develop. So this injury right here, I mean, it could be monumental on 2 phases. It can affect the passing game, and it can affect how Zeke Elliott is controlled in the run game. This is DEFCON 5. I'm worried for the boys, Newy. I'm worried.
Players Lounge brought to you by Hotels.com. All right, McCray, we're talking about looking at a possibility of having Terrence Steele start at right tackle again. Maybe they flip it to left, but I'm assuming he'll go to right. You've got Brandon Knight, who made 1 start last year for the Cowboys. That was at right tackle. Then Alex Light was signed on Tuesday, and that's a guy that Mike McCarthy has worked with right here. But you're talking about your top 3 tackles missing action against the Atlanta Falcons because Cam Irving is also on injured reserve. So Tyron Smith, possibly couldn't be there, could possibly not be there. Jerry Jones said it'll be a game-time decision. Mike McCarthy was very vague about what was going to happen. He said he still needed, quote-unquote, more information. But we know Collins and Irving will not be there. Takk McKinley is one of the Falcons' pass rushers here, a guy that the Cowboys looked at trying to possibly draft, but they couldn't because Atlanta traded up, got him, and the Cowboys got stuck with Taco Charlton and passed on T.J. Watt, but that's another conversation. And they've also got one of Barry Church's old teammates from Jacksonville and Dante Fowler Jr. So these are the guys that you've got to be looking at if you're the Cowboys who can come off this edge here. And look, if you're Takk and if you're Fowler, you're licking your chops here if you get to go against these young, inexperienced guys.
Listen, you. Damn, my bad. Listen, I'm rusty. I missed yesterday. My bad. Go ahead, 42.
Oh, no, it's all good. I was just going to say, Dante Fowler, I was a teammate of his for 2 years down in Jacksonville. And like I said, Grady Jarrett was no scrub. This guy got paid for a reason. I mean, to me, he's just as athletic as a Tank Lawrence, much faster. He just doesn't have that perennial pass rush moves that Tank Lawrence has, but he's no scrub out there. So whoever they do put on there on that right tackle spot, I believe it'll be Steele. It's not going to have an easy day in the park. So all this offensive line, they need to step their game up because they're not going against any scrubs out there. And if they want to implement this offense to where they need it to be, deep shots, play action, all that stuff, they're going to need to secure this front line, and it's going to be hard to do it without Tyron Smith.
Listen, and to add on to that, I just remember. And this is for Newy and some of the other people who, me also, when we did not protect, Tyron Smith's replacement, was it? I forget his name, but last time we played against Atlanta, Chaz Green, we didn't protect him, and we got after the game, everybody was like, "Hey man, the play calling, right? We should have put somebody out there to help him, this and that." It's the same situation this week, except it was the same situation last week as well. We didn't see it. So if you don't find a way to run some plays, to slow down those pass rushers, create some misdirection, to open up some time and take a little pressure off those tackles, if we don't see that, and we're going back to when is McCarthy going to snatch the play sheet, right? Because if we don't see that, I'm putting it on McCarthy and Kellen Moore. If we go out there and we somehow have to watch the game and we're like, man, the right and left tackle are struggling, and why aren't they getting them any help? This isn't just on Kellen Moore. This is on the entire offensive coaching staff, including Mike McCarthy. So we need to see specifically, since we know that these are the weaknesses of our team, if these two tackles don't play, well, if Tyron doesn't play and we already have a replacement at right, the game plan should be something to create misdirection and slow these guys down so they can negate that pass rush and open up some shots down the field.
All right, a name we haven't mentioned from the coaching staff that Cowboy fans need to go ahead and remember if you don't already. The name is Joe Philbin. Joe Philbin, former coach of the Miami Dolphins, longtime offensive line coach for Mike McCarthy with the Packers. He is the Cowboys offensive line coach. Joe Philbin has got his work cut out, and this needs to be his finest hour here for the Cowboys because McCarthy would not give away if they were going to go with some different types of combinations, if Tyron was out, meaning, okay, could they decide to flip Connor Williams at a tackle spot? He didn't want to go and give anything away here. So to me, this is going to be really interesting on how Joe Philbin gets these guys ready to go, because this is truly what your O-line coach has to do. Because also, within trying to set the five guys, if Smith is out, you've also got to think about what if someone gets hurt. If Connor Williams is hurt in the game, okay, who's going to go there? If Steele is hurt in the game, I mean, these are things you have to think about and go to, and also how you change who's on special teams. So there's a big challenge here for this team, and that's why I say I'm at DEFCON 5 right now, worried about this offensive line, an area we all thought was going to be good coming into Sunday's critical game against Atlanta, because you don't want to fall to 0-2. It's the first Cowboys home game of the year. McCray, I mean, I'm telling you, man, I'm straight up worried, man. I am worried because
you should be.
This could get ugly if they don't do it right. And I think you were on point talking about, all right, you can't sit around here and run your regular offense. You got to make the adjustments. That's what coaching is trying to cover up your warts here. So you may need some three-step drops. It may be some bubble screens that you got to go ahead and get this ball out quick. Do not let Takk McKinley and let Fowler Jr. McCray get going here.
Listen, if I don't see a zone read with Zeke and Dak to where you're putting the defensive ends in a tough situation and then playing off that with play action and shots down the field, if they don't set it up with that based on what we have at tackle, then I have no idea what we're doing, because it's not that many ways to slow them down. But anytime you can get somebody thinking and overthinking on the football field, that is great for you, right? So we just need to find a way to get that done, or it's going to be a long game, which really will be a short game because we'll get blown out.
Yeah, I think they just got to kind of take a page from the Rams playbook like last week. I mean, we talked to Will, and he told us the recipe. It was they turned it into a lateral game instead of a vertical game. Now, we know we want to see more shots from Dak Prescott, but with this patchwork offensive line, if Tyron Smith is out, we know they're going to bring from within, as what Will said the other day. We're going to promote from within. So with this patchwork offensive line, I mean, you're going to have to turn it into a lateral game. Bubble screens, wide receiver screens, quick game, 3-step drop. And they're going to have to get it out of his hands fast, because I just don't see that offensive line holding up that well against those pass rushers for Atlanta.
Did you guys watch the Cleveland game last night?
Yes.
And not to be on Joe Burrow, but the Cincinnati offensive line is not good.
No.
But Cincinnati did find a way to get the ball down the field. So it's not impossible. So I don't want us to go into the game and say, hey, man, we can't do it because, X, Y, Z. Teams are able to get it done. They're able to coach this stuff up, and they're able to find a way to push the ball down the field and score some points. All right. So it's not an impossible task, and it's something that we should be able to do, and our offensive coaching staff should be able to figure out how to get this done in the game.
I tell you, McCray, I hear you loud and clear through these Bose headphones. I like where your head's at. I remembered last year when the 49ers lost their 2 offensive tackles for a game, and it might have been 2 games that they lost both starting tackles, and Kyle Shanahan ended up winning both of those games. I know he won one of them for sure, but I believe it was 2 weeks he had to do it in a row, and he got through it. And of course, we know the Niners ended up playing in the Super Bowl. It was these injuries had happened earlier in the year, so you are on point. This is where the coaching comes in, and the way Jason Garrett had done it, was, hey, look, we're going to be who we are, and we're not going to give guys help. I want Mike McCarthy to give guys help here, and so whether it's Blake Bell or it's the rookie Sean McKeon from Michigan, who's their best blocking tight end, put somebody out there and help Chip. Help these guys. You just cannot leave these tackles out here by themselves. You're going to have to help them here. I just feel like that has to be it. Not sure what the game plan is going to be, but to me, just what we know of right now, if you're talking about 2 tackles making their second NFL starts, you got to protect them, man. You got to protect them, Church.
You got to. I mean, you're completely right. Whether it be Ezekiel coming out of the backfield, getting a little shoulder chip in there, or if it's one of the tight ends chipping on their way out to their route, you can't let these guys go on there on an island by themselves. One, I mean, I don't see their confidence being that high to begin with. If they're on social media, they're looking at this saying, oh, man, everybody and their mom thinks we're going to give up 100 sacks out there. So their confidence can't be that high. But to get it to the point where they're successful out there, you got to help them out. You can't leave them on the island. We saw, like Danny pointed out earlier, when you leave a guy on an island like Chaz Green, bad things can happen. And we do not want to sit there and watch Dak Prescott take a 5-step drop and get smacked in the back of the head. We do not want to see that over and over again. We need to shore up this offensive line, whether it be chipping, whether it be quick step, something has to happen. But I'm sure these coaches with championship pedigree will figure out something to get ready for this Atlanta game.
All right, McCray, you brought up a point here talking about the offense that I want to come back to, and it leads into what Church and I were discussing yesterday, is the offense is supposed to be the best part of this team. Their job is to also protect this defense by trying to figure out a way to hold on to the ball longer. What we've seen from the Cowboys the past 2 seasons is if you leave this defense on the football field for 30 minutes or more, you usually are going to have a problem here. So they also, within having to start these 2 young tackles, how can they run the football and control the clock, McCray? Because they got to protect this D. The more shots that Matty Ice has on the football field with this offense, the worse off it's going to be for the Cowboys.
Listen. Jerry Jones has been saying for years that Dak has the potential to be just like Russell Wilson, just like Cam, as far as being able to run zone reads and create a new type of thing in the run game. So use it. Like this is a way for them to be able to add another element to the run game. Add Dak in there as another runner. I'm not saying run the power with him, but get him some runs out there. Make the teams respect him as a runner, and that'll help you in every other aspect of the game, right? Because if you're worried about the quarterback being able to take it from Zeke and run around the edge, that slows the defensive end down. That also slows the defensive end down on the read if you hand it off to Zeke. And that also puts the safety in the box, having to come down and have to worry about tackling Dak, and that'll help you in the play action game. Jerry Jones has been asking for this for a while, and I think this is a key thing that can help the Cowboys be able to run, considering the O-line may be not at full strength.
That's true. I can see them trying to put that wrinkle in there every now and then with the zone read. I just don't know if Atlanta's going to respect it enough. I mean, I don't see Dak Prescott in that same athletic ability as, a Cam Newton or Russell Wilson. Can he scramble and get you some yards? Of course. And I think he'll have to do that as the game progresses, especially if Tyron Smith is not out there at left tackle. So I can see them trickling a little bit of zone read in there. But for me, the most important factor to get this run game going, if those offensive linemen are down, is you got to just get a little bit more creative. Have a little bit of counterplay to your run game. Start it out one way, come back the other way. Use Atlanta's aggressiveness like the Rams used our aggressiveness last week against them. Have them forcing them going one way, bring it back. Do a lot of, you can have some motion behind the line of scrimmage just to get their eyes going somewhere else before the snap. So to me, I just think they have to stick with that pound game. Hopefully Zeke is at his top level and he's able to perform well against this Atlanta team, but they got to use misdirection, get these defensive linemen's eyes out of the backfield and concerned with other things.
All right, we are in our SWBC Mortgage virtual home studios for the Players Lounge, brought to you by Hotels.com. When we come back, let's address the defense here. Jalen Smith spoke to the media yesterday and cleared up a little confusion that Church and I had yesterday. So let's step to that and talk about it next, right after these messages on the Players Lounge right here on DallasCowboys.com radio.
Hey there, Cowboys fans. With Tide Cleaners at-home pickup and delivery, cleaning your clothes has never been more convenient. Simply sign up at your local store, set out your dirty clothes, and one of our Tide Cleaners professionals will come directly to your home for a totally contactless experience. Your clean garments will be returned promptly the next scheduled delivery day, so skip the errand and enjoy life, not laundry. Visit TideCleaners.com or your local store to sign up for Tide Cleaners at-home pickup and delivery today.
I'm Jay Novacek, former tight end for the Dallas Cowboys. Back in the day, I was the guy who always got the tough yards, and that's why I run with John Deere today. In fact, I have a John Deere 3025E tractor that can handle any yard work I need to do, even the tough yards way out back. So if you have 1 acre or 1,000, John Deere has the equipment that's just right for you. Visit a John Deere dealer today and run with us. We are the official tractor provider of your Dallas Cowboys.
We're back with a tasty treat that's sweeping airwaves and taste buds. It's new Dr. Pepper and Cream Soda. Let's take a listen.
Dr. Pepper and Cream Soda's here. A new combo that's music to my ears, okay. Let's play. Cream Soda and Dr. Pepper time. Pour it in a glass of ice.
Ah, music to my ears and mouth. New Dr. Pepper and Cream Soda.
A delicious duet.
Essilor is a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, helping fans see more and do more with our best vision solutions. Our lens technologies reveal a world more beautiful than you can imagine. For a limited time, get the Essilor Next Gen offer. When you buy the latest generation of Transitions lenses with select Essilor lenses, you can choose a second pair of clear lenses for free with qualifying frame purchases. Restrictions apply. Find a participating eye care professional by visiting EssilorUSA.com. Essilor. See more, do more.
Back to the Players Lounge.
All right, 12 Cowboys Way brings high-rise luxury apartment living within steps of the Dallas Cowboys headquarters at the Star in Frisco, providing luxury amenities, multiple floor plans, and unparalleled conveniences. 12 Cowboys Way is where elite living meets exclusive access. Leasing is available now. Book your virtual or in-person tour at 12cowboysway.com. You are in the Players Lounge. We do it every Tuesday, Monday through Friday, right here on DallasCowboys.com. I'm Newy Scruggs, longtime Cowboys reporter, joined by two former Cowboys safeties, McCray and Barry Church. So Jaylon Smith met with the media yesterday and gave us some pretty good information. When Church and I were talking yesterday, when McCray, when you were off, we assumed that Jaylon would go to the middle linebacker spot to replace Leighton Vander Esch. But Jaylon says no, he's still going to be a will linebacker, and he will call the play. So Joe Thomas is going into the middle linebacker spot. So, Church, based on our conversation, what we had yesterday, now that we've got the whole deal straight, that Jaylon's going to stay at the will and Joe Thomas is in the middle, give me your opinion on Joe Thomas having to have that spot taken over for Vander Esch.
For me, this is a bit of a head scratcher right here. I would assume that Jaylon Smith, being their most experienced linebacker, would go to the Mike linebacker. That's usually a role reserved for the quarterback of the defense. Sean Lee held that down for a very long time, and he'll be calling plays, but from the will side, and that's pretty confusing. I've never seen it done before, but I guess it's a new day. But if you got Joe Thomas at that middle linebacker spot, it scares me a little bit because he's not the biggest of statures of man. I mean, he middle linebacker position, and as we've seen last week, the offensive linemen are able to get to the second level extremely fast. So that's one thing the defensive line is going to have to correct, is just to get those offensive linemen off of the linebackers. But usually that's a role reserved for your bigger linebacker. And Jaylon being that bigger linebacker, I would assume that he would have gone right in there, because as a middle linebacker, you got to be a thumper. You got to be able to take those pulling guards on, those fullbacks on. So I'm interested to see how long Joe Thomas is going to be able to last in those trenches. But we'll see. I guess the Cowboys know something that I don't, but we'll see.
I'm a little concerned, but I'm gonna go back to last week and how they've been working through this whole offseason, and maybe Jaylon Smith will not be playing Will. Once they get into the game, he'll be playing Mike. It's a little confusing, and I'm kind of starting to wonder what that says about Jaylon Smith, that they would put the young guy in there to handle all that instead of putting Jaylon Smith in there. One, because we have a system now to where they say that the D linemen are two-gapping. At Church, if you remember, and Newy, when Rob Ryan got here, our D-line was two-gapping, and Sean Lee was able to run all over the field and just make plays. I would see that as something, a strength of Jaylon Smith, right? So he should be playing the Mike, and he should be able to play behind those two gaps and feel wherever he wants to and play based off instinct. So I'm a little confused about the will linebacker spot, but I'm just going to chalk that up to they're still trying to be secretive and not let the other team know what they're doing, or I don't see it lasting very long if the D-line is able to do what they're supposed to do and successfully two-gap, like they weren't able to do last week.
They're secretive now, so we just don't know what we used to know. But that's what Jaylon said. And Jaylon, by the way, just listening to the press conference, he was adamant. He says, "I am a will linebacker. I'm a will linebacker." I mean, he stated it several times to let everyone know, this is my position. This is where I'm going to be. And I guess this is where he feels comfortable. So if Joe Thomas is right there, McCray, do you look for Atlanta to try and establish the run by kind of going up the middle and then also using that play action passing to try and hit their guys, Ridley and Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley and Julio Jones deep? Because if we've seen one thing, if you can make that play action pass work with deep threats like that, it can be pretty lethal.
What's crazy is they're going to do that anyway, because we are known as a team who over pursues and gets out of position and overruns bootlegs and deep passes, right? So now you're going to put a young guy in there, and and I just don't think it's really going to work if that's the game plan for Atlanta. Like I said, maybe they know something that we don't know, and they're really coaching them up, or maybe the scheme that they're running this week just has Jaylon fit there, but it'll look like he's playing something different. That's the only way I can see this working, because if Atlanta focuses on running the ball based off what we saw last week, it'll be a long day for the Cowboys. And now that you put this guy in here at Mike, it'll be a longer day from him. And and nothing against him, we just hadn't seen him be able to do it. And I trust Jaylon more.
Yeah, and if I'm Atlanta, I'm coming straight at Joe Thomas. I mean, He was a backup for a reason, and as we see in the NFL, whenever the new guy comes in, offenses go straight to them to see what he's all about. So if I'm Atlanta, I'm going straight at Joe Thomas, seeing if he can thump with the best of them, seeing if we can get some running game going behind him. But that middle linebacker spot, usually, like I said, is usually reserved for bigger stature of guys, because when they go into a zone, when they go into a cover two, even if Jalen or Vander Esch, who's really good at this, bites up on the run, they're able to get back and use their size to force the quarterback, if he is going over the middle on a play action, to get some air underneath there. So with his small stature out there, I'm not so sure how it's going to work out, but, hats goes off to Joe Thomas. Hopefully he's able to play well at that Mike linebacker position.
Now let's also throw this in here, and remember we had Will McClay on there. He brought up Luke Gifford. Luke Gifford's bigger than Joe Thomas. So maybe Luke Gifford is that guy. Once again, the Cowboys are real secretive about what they're doing, and they don't allow us to say what people are seeing in practice. So they're kind of like a hockey team now. A hockey team doesn't give you any clue about anybody hurt. They say lower leg injury, or they won't say anything at all. So that's what maybe that's who's the middle linebacker is. It's going to be Gifford. So all right, Gifford out there along with Jalen Smith. So Gifford at the middle linebacker spot, and then Jalen Smith at the wheel. So we'll see. I mean, this is the interesting part about this new Cowboys regime here. They're not telling us anything. We used to know a whole lot more. So we'll see. And that's why we're talking right here. We're telling you, Cowboy fans, we don't know. So we're not going to sit. We're not going to sit here and tell you we know what we don't know. We're just assuming. And these are options. These are the options they have, and you got to look at all the options you have here to see what you can do there. But obviously, offensive line, linebacker, two spots that we talked about that are issues there. So let me ask this question, Church. I'll start with you. How many DBs are you running in your base? 5 or 6 when you have a Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, and a Gage out there, those 3 good receivers, plus a Hayden Hurst, the tight end as well?
Oh, I'm going in a nickel package. I'm not even touching base. I'm going in a nickel package. And for those who don't know, the nickel package, that's that's 5 defensive backs. So that's what I'm going on. And I'm doing that because for the simple fact that I don't think Todd Gurley is the same Todd Gurley we've seen a couple years ago, who was up there for MVP discussion and all that stuff. I think he slowed down a bit. So I don't think you need that heavy front 7 in there. I don't think you need all 4 down linemen and 3 linebackers in there just to stop the run. I think you can get away with having a nickel presence in there, or an extra safety, maybe a B-car in there as well, who's not extremely great against the run, but can cover as well, because you have that guy in Hayden Hurst out there at tight end. Now in Baltimore, he was not seen as that, big play flashy guy because they had Mark Andrews, but he's able to stretch the field. And we saw an example of that last week when he went against Seattle and he had that diving catch. So this is a guy that can easily run past linebackers and can outstrength safety. So I would have another DB on there just to kind of get an extra coverage in there, because I think with our front 6 in there, those 2 linebackers and those 4 down linemen, I think we can handle the run. But I'm definitely adding another defensive back in there to help control that passing attack for Atlanta.
Well, you're way more optimistic than I am. All right, listen, I'm rolling out there in my regular base personnel unless they come out in 11, just because, and this may be leading into y'all might find out where I'm going with my pick later on. But I don't think we can stop the run with what we have. I just think we're going to have to dedicate a lot of pieces to stopping the run and making Maddie try to beat us. So I see us coming out there, and matching their personnels, and then whenever they get into those passing situations, we get out there and nickel, possibly dime if B-Car comes out there, if we need another person to come out there and cover a tight end or a running back. But I'm just matching, because I think the main focus here is being able to stop the run, because if you can't, you're not going to be able to defend anything else. It's just going to be a very long game, and the time and possession will be on Atlanta's side. So do whatever you have to do to stop the run.
McCray, I agree with you 100%, because it goes back to that whole time of possession. And what we've seen from the Cowboys the past few seasons, when you leave that defense out on the field for 30-plus minutes, they've got issues. The offense has to help carry the defense. So stopping Todd Gurley, stopping the run, and stopping the play-action passing, I agree with it all day long, because we saw the Rams with 40 attempts All right, that was one reason why they held the ball for 11 minutes and 16 seconds longer, because they ran the football and ran it effectively, had over 150 yards in the football game. I remember when the Rams played the Cowboys last year at Jerry World, Todd Gurley only had 20 yards and didn't have a whole lot of carries. And when Todd Gurley gets his numbers up 21 and 25 times a game, it's almost 95% of the time ends up in a victory. Now, it was for the old LA Rams, but you get Todd Gurley's numbers up like that, you got an opportunity to win the game. And that's going to be the same thing with Ezekiel Elliott. You know, you get Zeke's numbers up there in the 20-25 range. The Cowboys are going to have an excellent chance to win because running the football is what they want to do. Let's get our second time out right here on the Players Lounge, brought to you by Hotels.com. I'm Newy Scruggs, joined by former Cowboy safeties Danny McCray and Barry Church.
Hey there, Cowboys fans. With Tide Cleaners at-home pickup and delivery, cleaning your clothes has never been more convenient. Simply sign up at your local store, set out your dirty clothes, and one of our Tide Cleaners professionals will come directly to your home for a totally contactless experience. Your clean garments will be returned promptly the next scheduled delivery day, so skip the errand and enjoy life, not laundry. Visit TideCleaners.com or your local store to sign up for Tide Cleaners at-home pickup and delivery today.
We can't wait to see the Cowboys back on the field, and we can't wait to pack AT&T Stadium to watch them play. When that time comes, SeatGeek is the place to get all of your tickets. Plus, tickets to the hundreds of games, concerts, rodeos, and other live events we'll all be able to enjoy again soon. Every SeatGeek purchase is protected by a buyer guarantee, which means you'll get your money back if your event is canceled. Guaranteed. SeatGeek. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again for Tailgating with the OtterBox Boys.
OtterBox, the company that builds wildly overprotective phone cases?
The one and only. But cases are just the start. OtterBox is the official outfitter of tailgating.
If they can keep my phone safe, what can they do for my parking lot party?
How about protecting your beverages from suboptimal drinking temperatures with their elevation tumblers? And OtterBox elevation tumblers come in 3 sizes: a 10-ouncer, a 20-ouncer, and even a 64-ounce growler.
Check out all the colors and sizes of their elevation tumblers at otterbox.com.
It's football season, and when you're tailgating with your friends and your family, you want the best meat on your grill. Pettigene Meats makes the best hot dogs, the Pettigene Griller, or the all-beef Franks will score. To complete that tailgate meal, Pettigene Meats has hickory smoked sausage, hot links, Polish sausage, and the best hickory smoked bacon and ham around. Available at your local retailer. And a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. It's Pettigene Meats. Taste the difference.
Back to the Players Lounge.
Cinema Drive-Ins brings the classic nostalgia of a drive-in movie to the Star. Enjoy all the features of these timeless outdoor theaters in a safe and innovative environment, brought to you by the 21st Century, with the latest technology, stunning visuals, and the latest and greatest Hollywood blockbusters. New movies are featured every weekend at the Gaylord lot at the Star in Frisco. For details, visit thestarinfrisco.com. I wonder if they'll air the Stars game on Saturday nights. The Stars get ready for the Stanley Cup. They're going to take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. I am excited about this. Gentlemen, we do not see championships in our city very often here, okay? The last championship we saw was 2011. That was the Dallas Mavericks in a 6-game victory over the Miami Heat, as they beat LeBron James and D. Wade and Chris Bosh. And then a few months later, the Rangers had an opportunity to win the World Series. We all know what happened in that Game 6, which forced a Game 7, and St. Louis won it. Stars haven't won the Cup since 1999, haven't played for it since 2000, so 20 years. And here's a local team playing for a championship. I'm excited about it, and hopefully the Stars can bring this thing home 4 wins away from winning the Stanley Cup. So I'm excited about that, guys.
Shout out to the Stars. I'm from Houston, though, and the Astros won lately, so it's all right. I'm good with that. No matter how it happened, I'm all right with it.
Shout out to the Stars, and shout out to the boy Dirk out there, man. He brought that championship home back in 2011, man. So shout out to that boy Dirk.
It's hard to win championships, fellas. It is absolutely hard. By the way, McCray, you missed some of our NBA talk the other day, but how about Giannis Antetokounmpo winning his 2nd MVP? But now there's a lot of swirling about whether or not Giannis is going to sign a lucrative deal this offseason, and maybe he'll play out his final year with the Bucks And then you got people, thinking about suiting it up and just figuring out how can they lure Giannis to their team in 2021. Giannis could be a free agent. Kawhi Leonard could be a free agent. Hey, this NBA next summer could be pretty interesting.
It should be extremely interesting. Go ahead. My bad, D-Mac.
Where's he going? He's going to Brooklyn? He's going to go out there with Kyrie and KD. I mean, you need three. You need three if you're going to win. So he better pick a right place. I don't understand why he would want to stay in Milwaukee, but I mean, what do I know?
He need to get out of Milwaukee because ain't nobody, no disrespect, but none of the free agents are trying to go up to Milwaukee, man. It just gets too cold up there. Ain't nobody trying to go up there.
And that's the issue. That is the issue. I remember Chris Bosh when he was playing in Toronto. He's like, I can't get guys to come here, and D Wade did not want to go to Cleveland, and that's why they all ended up in Miami. So when you start to think about teams that are there, Dallas Mavericks might have an opportunity, because if you're Giannis, having a guy like Luka Doncic get you the ball, and then playing with a Kristaps Porzingis, because Kristaps likes to operate outside a lot too, so that could allow Giannis to go down low and get inside. So I mean, I don't know, but I'm just saying, if he decided to give a team a look, Dallas would be a very interesting look for Giannis, because two other European players, guys that like to share the ball. This could be fun.
You got the Kool-Aid going right now, Newy. You got the Kool-Aid going. I know you're happy to the Stars. I know you're happy about the Stars, but Giannis is not coming to Dallas with Porzingis and Luka. All right, it's not. That ain't happening.
I'll tell you where he's not going. He's not going to your Houston Rockets. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah.
You got Russ.
Houston we don't know what's going on. We don't know what's going on right now. I know we do. That's why. That's why it's possible they might just redo this whole thing, and we might get Giannis. All right. So I don't know.
No.
Hey, he's definitely not playing with Harden. After what Harden said to him, he's definitely not playing to Harden.
Your boy Tillman Fertitta's not paying that kind of money. You got Russ on one of those crazy kind of. How long is Russ making $40 million a year? I mean, forever and a day, and they've given away draft picks. No, bro, there's no improving that team. You're not about to get no superstars. You're stuck with that. And good luck on the first-time assistant that they're gonna hire for this job here. I mean, good luck on that, man. Tillman don't want to spend any money. He's cheap.
That's all right. Lakers in 6, baby. King James. Lakers in 6. I'm like, I learned to give up on the Rockets 2 years ago when James Harden was choking every time he got to Game 7. So I'm not worried. The Rockets did not get me excited.
All right. Let's step back into the Cowboys and more importantly, Danny, one of your favorites, your fantasy team here, Amari Cooper. Did take part in the mock game today that Mike McCarthy said the team held. So your boy Cooper, held out of practice Thursday, but good to go, and expect to see him out there for the Atlanta Falcons. So there we go. Amari Cooper should be out there.
God, listen, I don't know. I don't know why I drafted the guy, man. Last year it was the same thing. Then all of a sudden he had a hamstring injury before week 1, and now it's a foot. I'm just, nothing against him, but as far as fantasy goes, it's too much stress worried about him every Thursday, showing up on the injury report and then watching him in the game. We not throwing no deep passes. He not looking like what he looked like when he first came here and then got him $100 million. It's just too stressful. If I might trade him. I don't know. I might trade him, but I do hope he have a good game. I am going to start him. I hope his foot is all right, and I hope we throw the ball, deep down the field or give him a reverse pass or something. I don't know. Do something for the guy. $100 million, we need to see what it looked like, because right now it's not looking like that.
The panic. I like it. I like the panic. 2 weeks in, the panic. I think you'll be okay. I really do, because what do we always know we're going to get out of Amari? You're going to get your 1,000 yards from him here. And you're going to get your bevy of touchdowns. This game is also at home, Danny, and that's where we've seen Amari Cooper eat, is at home. So you should be good on that. Here's something that I wanted to bring up here that has, when I think about the Cowboys offense, one, they don't get enough conversions in the red zone. That's been a problem here for the past couple of seasons. It was a problem last week against the Rams. Got to do a better job of converting those red zones, because one of the things we know is that Atlanta will give them up to you. The Seattle Seahawks they got themselves 5 touchdowns on 11 possessions last week. Cowboys got to take advantage of the fact that Atlanta will let you score. They've got to get touchdowns and not have a bunch of field goals in this football game. That's my opinion there. Church, what you thinking?
They gotta secure the touchdown when they get into the red zone. Like you said last week, Chris Carson and them boys, Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf, they were able to do whatever they wanted once they got to the red zone. Run the ball, pass the ball, whatever they wanted. So for the Cowboys to have success offensively this week, they got to put the ball in the end zone. They can't settle for 3 points here, 3 points there, because all that's going to do is just keep Atlanta in the game. I think we got to put our foot on their neck and just pretty much shut them down from the start. We got to start the game fast. We didn't do that last week. LA stuck around and they ended up winning the game. So we just got to step on their neck early, and pretty much when we have those opportunities to cash in, we got to go ahead and do it, because either that or Atlanta's going to stick around, and with their passing attack, who knows what's going to happen. So we just got to put them to bed early.
Let me tell you this, all right? Let me tell you this, just so we can clear this up. Well, whatever happened last week is irrelevant. The Dallas Cowboys are not the Seattle Seahawks, all right? So just because the Seattle went down there and put a whooping on Atlanta does not mean we gonna be able to do the same thing. So I'm not even looking for that same type of stuff. The reality is we put up 17 points last week, all right? So we need to find a way to get our offense clicking. So I really don't even see it being that high scoring of a game. We need to get something rolling. Like you said, we talked about the first segment. Our O-line is in trouble. So putting up points, is just based off what we have going on the field, possibly is not going to be easy, and we're going to have to match that. I brought this up, I wrote this down before we got in here. My guy Julio, I think y'all talked about Trayvon Diggs, and how Mike McCarthy had all the faith in him yesterday. Did y'all talk about that?
Yes, we did.
All right, 2012, Julio, 5 catches, 129 yards. 2015, Julio Jones, 12 catches, 164 yards, 2 touchdowns. In 2017, he had we call it an off year. He had 657, but they won the game. 2018, he had 6 catches, 118 yards, and a touchdown. He's averaging 117 yards and almost a touchdown per game on us. McCarthy wasn't here, but the faith that you're showing in him, hopefully we have a way to double team this guy and show him some extra attention, because just saying that we're going to roll out there and do what we usually do, I don't think that's going to work against this dude.
All right, so let's get to it, fellas. What's the prediction here? What's the prediction for the game? Church, I'm going to start with you here.
My prediction for this game, I got a little bit different than D-Mac. I got a little more high scoring, so I'm going to go 38-32 Cowboys in this one. And for me, the key to this game, it has to all rely on the defense, in my opinion. I think it's going to come down to the defense that makes the biggest stop or makes the first turnover. And for the Dallas Cowboys, they have to make Atlanta one-dimensional. I know it's going to be harder than, it's easier said than done, but they got to make this team one-dimensional. They have to slow down or stop Todd Gurley and force Matt Ryan to go back there in his 5-step drops and throw the ball downfield, chuck the ball downfield to get their offense rolling. I feel like if we can do that, if we can make this team one-dimensional, it brings out the best in our defensive line. It lets them be aggressive and lets them get after the quarterback. It lets D-Law, Alvin Smith, Tyron Crawford, and them boys do what they do best, and that's get after the quarterback. So we gotta make this team one-dimensional. Like I said, it's easier said than done, but I believe it's plausible, because I don't think Todd Gurley is that same guy from a couple years ago, and I think we can shut down this run pretty easily.
Man, okay, look, I'm a little nervous to do this, but just based off what I saw and then last year, I think I'm gonna have to go 24-21 Dirty Birds. I just don't know, and usually I would be confident. And the fact that if I say we're gonna win, then we probably lose, I'm gonna just go opposite. I don't know that we're gonna be able to stop the run. And based off what I've seen from our offense and our offensive line that we have rolling out there, if Tyron Smith doesn't play, I think that is a big issue. So if he doesn't play, I see us losing this game by 3.
I put out my prediction yesterday on Channel 5, so here in town. So and I had the Cowboys winning, and I had a score up in the 30s. This was before I dived in here and realized that, okay, Tyron Smith may not play in this football game, and you have to make that adjustment there. Church, you and I spoke about it yesterday. Tank Lawrence has to show up. Tank Lawrence has 4 sacks in his last 16 football games here. Making $20 million a year, you need your star to be a star. If Aldon Smith comes and plays with the intensity he did last week and Tank Lawrence can match that, that can help limit Matty Ice and that passing game. They've got to have the defense help out this offense here. I'm going to go and lower my prediction here in terms of the points scored in this football game. And I'm thinking it's got to be a 23-21 Dallas victory. Cowboys can't fall to 0-2 because next week you go to Seattle. So this has to be a game of urgency. This also has to be a game where the coaches have to help the players cover up warts on both sides of the football. This is where Mike McCarthy, in my opinion, this is where he's going to show us what kind of head coach he is. How does he get Mike Nolan and the defense rolling? How do they work with Joe Philbin? How does he coordinate with Kellen Moore to figure out how they get themselves a win? And one thing we do know, Mike McCarthy kind of plays pretty well at AT&T Stadium, right, Danny? Right?
Listen, I knew the Kool-Aid was coming, but based on what you just said, that Kool-Aid is bitter again. All right, you just went from a very high-scoring game to the Cowboys winning by 2, possibly, and hoping that Mike McCarthy has some magic that he had up there with Aaron Rodgers here in Dallas, and he's not even calling the plays. So the Kool-Aid, go ahead, keep drinking it. We'll see what happens on Monday. I really hope we win, but the truth in me and what I saw last week and building over from what we had last year, because it kind of looks the same, does not bode well for me believing that we'll win this game.
I'm just not understanding this all this faith that both of you have in Todd Gurley. That's the question to me. Like, you guys are making it seem like this is 2017 or 18. Todd Gurley.
Church, who have we stopped from running the ball? It don't even have to be Todd Gurley.
One game. We had one game.
We got one game. We have the same guys for the most part that we had last year, with the exception of Tristan Hill, who everybody said could not play. And then he got out there and he looked just like what we thought he was going to look like last year. So that's who we rolling out there. We got a second-year player playing Mike. We got Jalen playing Will. And our defense couldn't stop the run last week. It's nothing that makes me believe that we're going to be able to stop the run next week. And they have another running back as well. But like I said, they didn't have to run the ball last week because they were behind by so much. So if we can stop the run.
So what's your over-under? You think Todd Gurley's going over 100 or under?
I think he's over 100 total yards. I think he's going over 100 total yards. I see him catching a couple screen passes.
Okay.
Total. I see him getting over 100 total yards.
What about you, Newy?
I can see that. I can see over 100 as well. And Church, let me emphasize this. They're not asking for 2017 Todd Gurley. But Todd Gurley today, can he be as effective as Malcolm Brown and Cam Akers were last week? I think Todd Gurley can be that effective. And with the fact that the Cowboys have some warts here, if they don't plug him up, I do think Todd Gurley can get himself, when you use the receiving skills and the running skills, I do think he can get himself 100 total yards in this football game. He can still give you that. He's not going to be all-pro Todd Gurley, but can he still be an effective running back in this National Football League against the defense that has some issues here? I do think he can do that. I think the Church, I think the McCray's right on that, Church. That's my opinion.
Okay.
He can't be all pro. He can be all pro against a defense. Listen, let me tell you something. We can make him look like he all pro if we do not two gap and tackle like we supposed to. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Okay, everybody. That is the Players Lounge for this week. We'll be back Monday at 2:30. We'll be at Victory Monday. It'll be Monday morning at a 0-2 Cowboys start. I'm Newy Scruggs. It's Danny McCray and Barry Church. This has been the Players Lounge, brought to you by Hotels.com on DallasCowboys.com radio.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!